check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Yes, you guys, my love. Good morning, YouTube. The time is currently 6:06 in the morning, and here we are at the gym. Woo. Judging by the title of this video, I'm going to be recapping my mini cut experience that I underwent for the past 4 weeks. The first question I want to cover going over mini cutting is, when should someone do a mini cut? Just to give you guys a short recap of what's been going on my end, we're almost getting close to the end of February. Think about Christmas, think about New Year's, think about all little festivities in between. You're going to get some unwanted fat gain, which is unfortunately what I went through. I think it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention my girlfriend's life motto, which is memories over macros. We definitely did create some memories, but now that the festivities are slowly dying down, I guess now it's time to get back on track. You gotta be mindful that it is a mini cut for a reason, so it's just gonna be a lot more aggressive. But anyway, back to the question, when should someone do a mini cut? Is if you're planning on just undergoing a quick diet just to go back to what your physique previously was. I guess another thing I should talk about is my current long-term-ish plan. My starting physique was here. By the end of the festivities, I was about here, and I wanted to come back down to here so I could go on with my goal of doing a slow progressive lean bulk. So starting from here and then ending up here, if I decided to proceed with my lean bulking goals from here, I would have just started off with a higher level of body fat than I would have wanted. So that's why I'm going from here, I was here, and now I'm coming back here to continue going where I want to go. Hopefully that makes sense. There's Annie looking after her health and fitness. Chances are she's probably thinking about Biscoff. Time to put in the work, people. All right, let's get it. You. Well, as you can see, training's done, food is digested, stats of my training will be on the screen, calories and macros for my first meal will be on the screen as well. I'm here at the gym I'm currently doing personal training at. So from now until I start PT, I'll probably just go bathroom, brush my teeth, try to be as clean and as hygienic as I possibly can. So with that said, I'll catch you guys when I'm finished work. All right, work is done, sweet, now we're here at the shops. So now I wanna talk about the second topic revolving around mini cuts, and that is, what is the difference between a regular cut and a mini cut? So essentially, the shorter the cut, the more aggressive the calorie deficit is. And the reason a lot of people should be careful and mindful of this is if they are constantly in mini cuts and undergoing strict calorie restrictions, is that they're at a higher risk of losing muscle and strength. So by the end of the cut, you won't really have a lot of muscle to show. Meanwhile, on the other hand, regular cutting that goes for an average of 12 weeks, the calorie deficit doesn't have to be super strict at the start. So much like I explained before my reason behind doing this mini cut, I also have a plan to get out of that mini cut rather than just hopping straight back to maintenance or to a higher caloric intake. So my mini cut ended 6 days ago, and instead of jumping up to maintenance or even higher, I've only bumped it up by 200 calories, I believe. And from there, I'm just gonna slowly progress upwards. And when I know it's time to make increases or adjustments to my intake, will be a reflection on how my performance is going in the gym. So like I explained before, essentially, if you're planning on undergoing a mini cut, it should be just for a short period of time, roughly 4 weeks. So if you're unsure if you should be doing a short aggressive mini cut or a much longer prolonged regular cut, then it would be smart to sit down and assess where your training has been recently, assess your body fat levels, and then going from there. If you're planning on doing a cut where you want your body fat levels to stay low after the cut, for a long period of time, then chances are you might want to do a regular cut. But if you have a better idea of where you want to take your training and you know undergoing a mini cut will only be temporary, and if you know you can control your calorie intake post mini cut, then I don't see why you can't do a mini cut. So to kind of summarize this portion of what's the difference between a mini cut and a regular cut, well, just keep in mind that doing a mini cut, you should really have a plan of how you're gonna get out of this 4-week strict calorie deficit so you don't rebound aggressively. Whereas a regular cut, you can take a lot more time with it. It's not gonna be as strict, and for the majority of people, undergoing a regular cut is probably a lot more ideal. So now we're here at the shops. We're gonna do a little bit of grocery shopping, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. See you soon. Well, that was a very successful shopping trip. The time is currently 11:30. I am caught in the middle of some heavy traffic, so I've got my snack with me, banana and edamame beans. Highly underrated source of protein. I know you don't care, but figured I'd say that. I'm not gonna film myself eating this banana because the internet is a scary place and I don't want to make any mistakes while I'm here. So I'll catch you back at the house. See you soon. I feel like I'm about to broadcast the news. Totally off the record, but I put my Spider-Man Lego thing there. I still haven't made it. I needed something for the background, so I think it's cool. So now before we go into my blood test results, not too much of an announcement, especially to those that already know. For the past few months to almost a year, I've been following a plant-based diet. I haven't been having any meat for almost the past year. Regardless where your macronutrients come from, as long as you're hitting them by the end of the day, you can achieve your health and fitness goals. So if you notice here in the clinical notes, it says vegan. Basically true, but I identify myself more as a plant-based eater. So with that said, now we can go into my blood test resulties. Okay, so first thing we'll notice is the iron. I hit a score of 16, falling within 10 to 30, which isn't too bad. The serum/plasma glucose. I'm not too sure exactly what that is. Probably something to do with glycogen, something in the muscles, I don't know. Either way, that looks good. If we look into the lipid studies, looking at my total cholesterol, hitting a score of 3.3 within the brackets of 3 to 5.2, which is excellent. My HDL and LDL, all within the spectrum, so awesome. I don't know why I feel like I passed this test. Like my results, yes, are really good, but I didn't like sit a test or anything. So moving on, we're going into thyroid. So for a lot of people that compete or diet down on a very regular basis, for the most part, your thyroid can get heavily affected, which can ultimately affect fat loss results. So looking at my thyroid, hitting a 2.6 within a 0.5 to 4.0 range. Awesome. My vitamin B12 levels are excellent. And now this one, my total testosterone is within the spectrum, hitting a number of 20 within the 8.3 to 29 range. That is fantastic. I'm a little low-key disappointed that it's in the spectrum. If it was out of the spectrum, then I could have gotten that little extra, you know? There's this other stuff. I don't fully understand what this is, but I'll just pop it on the screen because why not? But now if we look at the end of the results, I put little dots next to some other things I found pretty interesting. Sodium's all good, my potassium's all good. Creatine, which I know for a fact relates to creatine. I say I know that for a fact, but a quick Google search and that just results to my creatine levels. I don't know what the protein means. It says 64 within a range of 60 to 82, but hey, that's good. Calcium's all good and magnesium's all good. And if you can see right at the bottom, I put their lower end of vitamin D. I don't know why it's not here on the paper, but I did see it on the screen when my doctor told me. Considering I got this done when I've been dieting for 4 weeks, so this was like the end result of my mini cut, it's pretty cool. So in about a year's time, I'll do another one and let's hope everything's a-okay. So what you're looking at here is a Google Sheets file that I made myself. So this is where we're starting with the 4-week mini cut, January the 17th. As you can see, my starting weight was, as you can see, my highest I've ever been was like 74 point something. So this was, yeah. So you better believe I did enjoy myself the night before the start of this mini cut. Here are my macros that I had, and here are the calories that it added to. And as you can see, I kind of kept it all the same. I never really changed the meals. It was all the same throughout the week. So you can see by the end of that first week, I went down to 69.2. And as the second week went on, you can see all my numbers there. Macros basically stayed the same, I believe. Yeah, by the end of that week was 68.2. Now for the final 2 weeks of my 4-week mini cut, 2 different sets of macros. My everyday macros, the only difference was having 145 grams of carbs. My high carb macros was 220 grams of carbs, while protein and fat stayed the same. My starting weight for that Monday was 68.4. And if we go here, that day I consumed 220 grams of carbs, and as you can see, my weight went down. When it comes to a lot of coaches, they like to use carb cycling as a method to lose fat. So that's something I just wanted to try out for myself. So if I zoom out a little bit more, progressively going down, which was really cool to see. Even after my 220 grams of carbs, the next day went down 0.2, which is cool. And here we are at my final week, starting off at 67.8. So you can see weight does fluctuate. So if you can see over here, 200 grams of carbs was my new high, and my new low was 125. I wanted to go that low because, hey, it was my final week of mini cutting, so I wanted to see how I went. 68.7 was the start of that week. 200 grams of carbs later, 67.3. And then as the week went on, my weight was starting to float around a little bit more. But then after my low carb day, as you can see here, this is this week. This was the Monday morning, so the end of my mini cut at 66.2, which I was really happy about. So I guess if there's one thing to really take away from my 4-week mini cut experience, was just to show you that you can't be too afraid of carbs. When increasing your calories, your body's gonna have that little bit more energy. So while you're training, make good use of that extra energy. And I'm gonna lay in some clips here as well of how my training was looking while undergoing these calories. Honestly, like as the weeks went on, it wasn't until the 4th week where things really took a bit of a hit. But by the 3rd to 4th week, I was feeling awesome, hitting PBs while my weight was going lower and lower. So yeah, and here is my final 4-week transformation. So yeah, all in all, it was a successful mini cut from my end. If you ever need help with mini cutting in general, putting on size, programming, whatever it may be, that is literally what I do for a living. So you can either go to my website or you can hit me up on Insta at Zach's Health and Fitness, and I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you about your health and fitness goals. All right, now that the formalities of this video are done, I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and save some of this stuff onto my laptop, and then we're gonna carry on with the rest of the day. The time is currently 12:30, so I'm gonna catch you guys in a little bit.
21 calories, sorry.
Wow, you're right. That is not healthy. I bought a protein bar. All right, let's go home. All right, guys, multiple hours has passed. It's 5:30, and this is where I'm gonna conclude the video. We've got a Mad Mex burrito there, some sweet potato fries, and Annie, being the best person in the world, sticking to her macros. What are you gonna say about that, Annie?
Don't do it.
Don't listen to her. If you got goals, stick to it. I hope you enjoyed this informative content. If you want to see more stuff like this, mention in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Annie, any concluding thoughts?
No.
She said no. Thanks again for watching, guys. My name is Zach, not to be confused with Zach Perner, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.